Welcome to Rescripted Podcast, where we could celebrate the great things in life, share about the not so great parts, and find out how we can rewrite those challenges, turn them into insightful moments that will lead us to change, to growth, to happiness, and empowerment, all so that we can live the life we truly want to experience. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing how you could turn your setbacks into opportunities for growth. Sometimes you wonder why we end up having setbacks anyway. We plan things so much, we clearly think things out and map it out, and yet things don't always come out the way that we expect them to. And why is that? Well, there's definitely one thing to factor in. There is a beauty in setbacks. I know we don't want to hear that because we feel like we're just wasting time when it comes to having setbacks. But the truth of the matter is, it is meant to serve you. And that is what it's doing. Because something to really take into account is when you feel stuck, that is your internal instincts, emotions, intuition, letting you know that something is not fully meeting the proper requirements to get whatever it is that you want done. There is a difference between feeling stressed and there's a difference between feeling stuck. Stuck sometimes is that you keep repeating a pattern that maybe you have already outgrown. But when you feel stressed, stress feels like you're going in the wrong direction, and that sometimes can take so many years to undo because you're so used to being in a place where you get results. You have developed a muscle that allows you to get results. So you continue to do it. So it's almost like the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. But it's only because at one time it did yield you results. So it did make sense. And you're just not sure where things changed, when it changed, and where is the point that you need to pivot. Because you've trusted in this natural muscle that you developed of how to work things out. And now all of a sudden things changed. So you really want to get the clarity of where that all comes from. Because once we're able to get clarity, then you're able to get unstuck and really be freed to move forward in the way that you want to. And chances are you're not going to move forward in the way that you anticipated. The map is not going to look anything like you thought it would look. But nonetheless, you're going to get a rich experience out of it if you just allow yourself to have an open mind. A lot of the things that keep us stuck is that we just want to look at things from the point of view that makes sense to us and from the point of view that we have been naturally operating from. But if we give ourselves that opportunity to sit back and look and see where we are having these hangups, where we're having these setbacks, and see if there's a common thread to it all, we're going to be able to see the picture of everything, and we're going to be able to understand where we need to pivot and what are the adjustments that need to be made. Are they minor adjustments or are they pretty profound adjustments? That's something that you're going to have to really get in tune with to be able to determine how big these adjustments need to be made and how quickly they could be made and how effectively they're going to be to the overall end result. Something else to factor in when you are feeling stuck or you're getting setbacks in life and it's just not making sense to you. A lot of times you're going to see that it is coming from a place where you have been able to play the part quite well. It makes sense to you. You feel like you've developed great success in certain areas of your life, but for whatever reason, it's not authentic to you, and that allows you to feel a little bit like an imposter, right? Because this is something that you're actually really good at, but maybe you don't enjoy. So in the setbacks of some of these things, you're going to be able to see that maybe you didn't get far enough in what you were trying to do because maybe your level of investment also didn't grow, and that's probably what hindered you. Our level of investment does determine how far we get along in something, because again, we've heard it before, we only get as much as we put into something. That's how much we'll get out of it. So if you develop something and you care for it, it's going to yield results. If you kind of do something halfway, then you're going to get half of the result. So it's also depending on that. How much are you invested in being able to get the result that you want? And that will determine how big of a setback you're going to get. But also, you get to see if there is an opportunity for an area to develop. Maybe it's not any of those things. Maybe you are in alignment and you are doing something that you love and you are down the road of your passion, but you just haven't developed those skills quite yet. So the setback is actually a blessing because it will give you that time. It will give you that opportunity to grow those areas, because the hardest thing to do is to move forward when you're not fully equipped to handle with the next steps. I know it's so easy to hear moving from, a 0 to 100. It sounds great. In theory, it's wonderful. But the truth of the matter is, if you go from 0 to 100, there are so many steps along the way that we miss out on, that sometimes the desire to move so quickly, we don't realize all of the gaps that we are leaving within our ability to be effective and successful. So even when you do reach that goal at the end, there's still going to be some level of discomfort and unfulfillment because it wasn't fully formed the right way. And that's where we can start getting those feelings of imposter syndrome, because we didn't fully develop the capacity and capability in which to be able to succeed in these areas. So understanding that journey, understanding the process that you have to go through when you're, are giving yourself to a project or an opportunity or anything like that, investing into something, you really got to allow yourself the grace to grow into it. And a lot of times that's going to take more investment than maybe you initially thought it would take. But at the end of the day, you're going to see that it is going to be well worth the investment. Because as we know, setbacks are not meant to truly set us back. They're really meant to let us get in an element where we can get prepared, where we can get developed, so it can set us forward. It can propel us forward. But sometimes we don't do that on our own. We don't take that initiative to say, hey, let me study something. We kind of want to just go full on and go through the plan that we've developed and see how it unfolds. And we just wish for the best. And we learn along the way, right? And that's the easiest way. You kind of learn on the job type deal. But it's so important to understand that there is protection in setbacks and in delays. We don't want to hear that, but that is the truth. Sometimes we're moving so quickly in life that we're forgetting about the core elements, for example, in a relationship, sometimes you want to go from 0 to 100, and there's so much to learn along the way. There's so much beauty in a journey to learn and to gain, that if you go too fast, you miss out on some of those beautiful elements. Developing your career, you may want to go from 0 to 100, but you don't understand the full grasp of the responsibility when you really take on something that is just not fully in your capacity. Not that you can't develop into it, of course you can, but that initial desire needs to be there, and any other ambitions or aspirations that you want to get involved in, as much as we want to experience the highlights instantly, that's actually going to rob you of some of the opportunities that you can really get out of it, because again, there's just so much to learn, and in that learning you're going to see grace, you're going to see God's protection, you're going to see God's wisdom, and you're definitely going to see God's healing in that journey. And that's truly what everything's about. It is about the journey, about the highs and the lows, how the highs are showing you all that you're capable of doing and all the great things that God wants to do within you and with you and through you. And the lows are to show you what you really are able to overcome, what are the areas of development that you need, and what are the things that you're really built for. I know sometimes the hard times in life feel like you're down on your luck, But if you just change your mindset and you shift your perspective on that and you say, okay, this is just an area of development, then you're able to look at it from a different light, and you're able to embrace the journey a little bit more. You're able to try to extract any lessons, any valuable lessons, and it allows you to not sit in the pain so much. I won't lie to you and I won't say that you won't feel pain, because of course you will. You have growing pains. But at the end of the day, you want to know that it's all for something. And if you were to think that everything that you're going through is just in vain, well, that's not true. You know, your life has so much meaning, your life has so much purpose, and there's so many great things that you want to experience in life and that God wants you to experience in life. But sometimes we get so stuck in this like self-doubt, and that really comes from, that internal voice that's kind of letting us know that maybe we're not sufficient, maybe we're not complete, maybe we're not adequate enough to do so. And all of that negative self-talk can really weigh down on you, because it can be a very thin line from being cautious and really being able to assess the situation at a whole versus convincing yourself that you are not meant for this. And sometimes just being fresh and sometimes just being new and green at a situation doesn't mean that you're inadequate. It means that you're ready for preparation, and it means that you have to develop that muscle. Again, you may have some moments of discomfort, but it's okay, because at the end of the day, you have to realize that all of this is building you for something, because it's gearing you towards something. And being able to understand that journey and being able to paint that picture for yourself is really going to make sense, because you're going to look at life and you're going to say, like, everything has a purpose, right? None of this is just cause. None of it is coincidence. All of it is for a great essential. But if I don't see it that way and I don't view it that way, then I'm gonna miss the lesson. I'm not gonna be able to get all of the benefit out of this setback. And that's where you kind of really start to rob yourself in a sense. So when we sit in our emotions too long, when we feel the hurt or the pain or the struggle of the setback for too long, we are dismissing the lesson, which is truly the true fruit in this whole process anyway. Because the quicker that we're able to extract that lesson, the quicker that we're able to identify the area of development that's needed, the quicker we could bounce back, because we're not going to sit there and feel inadequate. We're going to realize what is it going to take. We're going to realize that there's things that we need to do to get ourselves in a better alignment with what we want. So we're going to have this positive mindset of saying, yes, we just have to have like the true understanding of where this journey is going to lead me. So you just have that mindset that everything works for your benefit, and you're going to see it work out for you. You're going to see it unfold layer by layer. I would love to say that we get the full picture all at once, but that's just not true. So I don't want to paint the picture that, being able to get in line with what you really want is a 0 to 100 type thing. It's easy to extract the desire that you want, but sometimes the development of that takes a little bit more time. And I don't want you to get discouraged, because you may be in a season of development. You may not have what you want at the moment. It doesn't mean you will not get the result that you want. It just means that you're probably just in a season of development, and just honor that. Because once you make peace with the setback and you say, okay, it is what it is, it happened, we're here, now let's move forward, you're going to find that rhythm that was missing. Where you felt stuck, now you're going to realize that there's a new synchronized movement that you're going to follow. There's going to be a new heartbeat to the things that you do, and you're going to fall in love with that journey, and it's going to bring more joy into this process for you. You're going to fall in love with your journey actually, and you're going to be able to see like the different elements in life that are going to bring enlightenment to you, right? Because if life is a gift, you're meant to enjoy it every day. Who's going to give you a gift and want you to suffer with it. Everyone's going to want you to enjoy it to them, to, the highest capacity. But being able to understand what is the structure of the gift is able to understand how you can maximize the benefits out of it. So that's what this journey is bringing you to. And as long as you allow yourself to have a growth mindset, as long as you allow yourself to have the open mind to really realize that all of this really is meant to benefit you, you just have to uncover what precisely is this trying to develop in you. Then it's able to make more sense to you, and you're able to be able to operate with more confidence. You're able to have a clearer understanding of what this journey is for you. As long as you know, as long as you focus on what is the benefit for you, you're going to be excited to develop in those areas. And then that self-doubt is actually going to remove the self-sabotage, because now if you're putting in the work, well, you're not sabotaging yourself anymore, right? You are showing up for yourself, and that's a beautiful journey to go on, and it's going to make you feel empowered, and that's going to help you get into a line with your purpose. And ultimately, that's where our true joy is. That's where the true fulfillment is, because you're able to understand ultimately what is the real outcome compared to what you wanted it to be versus what the true authentic outcome will eventually be. And that's a beautiful journey to go on, because you'll see how close you were to it, but you can also see all the growth that you needed to get to where you are, and see if the outcome was better than you anticipated. And if that sounds like something that you want to understand a little bit more, be able to get a grasp on how it is that you can start looking at life in that way, where it all benefits you, because you do want to feel fulfilled, you do want to feel empowered, and you do want to find your purpose, then I encourage you to sign up for one of our master classes. We actually have the masterclass, Take the Lead. And in this next clip, I'm going to dive a little deeper into it so you can understand what Take the Lead masterclass is all about. This masterclass, I am so excited because we start off with your current point, where you are currently and what challenges you are facing. And it's a live masterclass, and I go over it with you. And in the masterclass, we're able to see and develop what are some of the challenges along the way, and how and what that truly impacts, and what are the next action steps to move forward so that you can be able to take the lead and build the framework to your dream life, because you truly deserve it. Because a lot of times we really aren't that far away from the dream life we really want to have. We just need a few tweaks and we'll be right there. And I want to assist you with that if you are finding it a little challenging to find out what it is precisely that you have to tweak. So if you are interested in that, please sign up for our masterclass. I'll link all the information down below. But if you are ready for something even more profound, more of a transformation, I have this wonderful course called Tailor Your Life. And in that 12-week program, we really do dissect really the core of some of these challenges. What's creating your self-doubt that's going to lead to self-sabotage that ultimately brings you to have that so uncomfortable feeling of imposter syndrome. Because ultimately what we want is to align with our purpose. We want to know what our calling is so that we can live more effectively in it. And that is what that program walks you through and allows you to see that journey unfold right in front of you, so that you can continuously always see where you're going, where you're guiding, and all the different elements and components that you'll need to go through that process and effectively find your purpose. So if that's something that you are excited about, and that's something that you are truly wanting to transform into, you're tired of this guessing game, you're tired of trying to figure it out, and you really just truly want a core blueprint to finding out what your purpose is and be able to align with it, then I invite you to have a discovery session with me. Also, the information will be down below, and we'll talk about it and see if that's what you are ready to do, if you really are ready to take those next steps. And I'll be happy and more than excited to be able to assist you with that as well. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you enjoyed this episode and feel like it was insightful, then I ask you to please rate it, like it, and subscribe. And share it with someone you feel will enjoy it. I'll be back here next week, and we will continue to discuss matters regarding personal development. Take care, guys. Have a blessed week, and I'll see you next time.